in the elevators when our building was hit. Nobody knew about planes. Nobody knew about planes. My name is Leslie Morris, and when I became single, I went back to school to get my master's degree because I needed to supply the income for myself and Ashley. And after earning my master's degree, I went to work for Siemens Transportation Systems and moved from Grass Valley to Sacramento. So my job was to travel around to all the different locations that Siemens had and train their project managers on how we did our specific brand of project management. So I got to travel to Berlin and all sorts of places over Germany. I spent a lot of time in New York to train our people. I woke up in the Marriott World Trade Center Hotel, which is right in between the two Twin Towers, and I went into the building to go through security, which was an interesting process. You have to go to this desk and you have to get an ID card which tells you which floor you're going to be on, and you swipe the card to get into that particular floor, and you can't go anywhere else. The security is incredible in the World Trade Center. So I checked in to World Trade Center 2, floor 30, and that's where I was at 8:35 on September 11th when we heard a strange noise, which we did not know what it was. I was just beginning my presentation, and it was a PowerPoint presentation, so we had the screen down over the window, but you could see through the screen things falling behind the window, and we thought it was scaffolding.
Shortly after those attacks on the Twin Trade Towers in New York City,
we decided, well, let's go look out the window. So we opened up the screen and we looked down and we could see cars burning in the parking lot. And so at that point in time, we thought that there had been perhaps a car bomb. It didn't occur to us that at that point in time that there was another issue, that why would it have been a car bomb when there were still things flying out of the sky? Because the orientation of our building was that we could not see World Trade Center 1, which was the first building that was hit. So at that point in time, our project manager said, well, we're going to evacuate. And so we began to trek down the stairs. And we got down about 15 flights of stairs when we heard over the loudspeaker that World Trade Center 2 is secure. Please go back to your offices. I was with the office manager, Jorn Fellenberg, who said, no, I'm going to take you to the airport. So we continued to evacuate. Some of our office members decided to go back to the office. They were in the elevators when our building was hit. The cables did break, and they did fall several floors before they were caught, but they were trapped in the elevators and had to be rescued by firefighters. That's when the panic hit. We were in the lobby, and it was an amazingly frightening experience because the building shook, and then you could feel a blast of air come through the lobby. And at that point in time, people started to run. And then the rescue workers were all saying, don't look up, don't look down, just run. And we had to climb over debris at that point in time because there was a lot of debris on the ground. There was people bleeding from being hit by debris. And so we ran, didn't look up, didn't look back, just saw what was around us at that point in time, till about 4 blocks later. We stopped at about 4 blocks and turned around. And I don't know which building I could see at that point in time. I could only see one building, but we could see the big gaping hole and the flames pouring out of the building at that point in time. Thank the Lord that I had Jorn with me because, you know, I traveled to New York quite a bit on business, but I would have been turned around. I would have been standing there 4 blocks away when the buildings came down if Jorn hadn't grabbed my hand and said, I'm taking you to the airport. He was Jesus and with skin on at that point in time, holding my hand and getting me out of where I needed to be because I wouldn't have been able to get out by myself. We were far enough away when the buildings came down to not be, covered with ash like many of our coworkers were. When I was in Tarrytown alone in the hotel is when I really connected with God because I was alone and I couldn't sleep. I could feel almost a presence of evil, and I would wake up feeling evil. I cried out to God at that point in time, saying, God, you just got to make this go. I feel the evil. I need you here, not this feeling. And I feel a sense of peace. And that's probably the first time I've ever felt evil, and then feeling God covering that evil with His goodness and His presence, and the evil fled. I felt God protecting me then. And at that point in time too, I could kind of look back and know that God had his hand on everything, from the fact that Jorn was there for me, and Jorn didn't let go of me, and Jorn got me out of there. I believe God, even though I didn't feel it at that point in time, just placed everything in the perfect sequence to get me out with the least amount of distress possible in that particular situation, because there was many people that had much more distress than I did. Well, I think what God did was he turned my life upside down. Allowed a lot of things to happen in my life that were preparing me to become closer to him emotionally. I am thankful that I went through all the difficult things in my life. I wasn't thankful then for both my divorce and September 11th. I was not thankful at all. But looking back, I can see the positive changes that both things did in my life and in my relationship with God that have caused me to be a stronger person and hopefully be able to use that strength for God in the future.